Hey everybody, and welcome back, and going to continue to show you my ever-growing Dragnet collection. So if you're a fan of Dragnet, you've turned into the right video here. I've shown these in a previous video, but these are two fan books that came out for the Dragnet show. This was the both of these were from the Dragnet 1967-68 revival. This was a novelization of the pilot show, and then these were just some of the cases written just as little short stories. This one's a lot more kid-friendly, and this one was a lot more mature. This was definitely written for adults, and this was, I think, kind of a family version. I did manage to find this Hollywood on Wheels by Johnny Lightning Dragnet Ford Fairlane. The car that Joe Friday and Bill Gannon drove in the show. This kind of a neat little thing if you're interested in Dragnet. I mean, I don't think it's really like an action car, but it's still a neat choice. And there is a little card in there that you could take out, and I think it tells you stuff about the show. But the thing I really am proud of is this Time magazine that I recently acquired that has Jack Webb on the cover, and as you can see, it has the famous notes from the show Dum Da Dum Dum right here, and there's some bullets. This is a really artsy cover if you think about it. This is dated March 15th, 1954, and if you will permit me, I'd like to do a nice flip through of this magazine. Okay. So let's take a look and see what was going on in 1954. Here's an ad for 1954 Ford. Very nice full color ad. And then here's an ad for B.F. Goodrich. Photography shows prospects. How their new service stations are going to look and operate. This is for Kodak, and it looks like they're showing a little miniature service station with models of efficiency here. Air parcel post, an airmail. I like how the border of this looks like the airmail envelope. And here's an ad for Brock's Brothers Clothing. Autotronic Eye, the biggest advance in night driving in 30 years. I guess this is a bright light headbeam or headlights made by GM. Consult a Professional, America 4 Insurance Group. Yardley of London, English lavender after shaving lotion. Merchant calculators. I'm an accountant, and looking at this is just daunting. I use the standard 10 key if I use one at all nowadays that we have Excel spreadsheets to use, but still imagine having to use this adding machine to do your accounting. Don't you ever just kind of want to cut these out and mail them to see what would happen? Reese underwear is perma-sized. Okay, the man who didn't want a woman's job. This is a very misogynistic article, but it also this is also the time period we're living in, and as someone who appreciates history, you just have to understand that's what they knew back then. It's actually not an article, it's an ad. But ironically, the publisher was a woman, so go figure. Okay. Just like looking at these old ads. Now, the original owner of this magazine checked off everything she read, so she would make sure she got the full benefit of the magazine. Senator McCarthy. You might be familiar with that name. This is the time of the communist trials, McCarthyism. When they're talking about Indochina, the world's oldest war, that's the Vietnam War in the 50s, at least, between the French and the Vietnamese. It turned into the Vietnam War between the United States and the Vietnamese later. Gina Lola Brigida. I've never been able to pronounce her last name, but she's a famous Italian actress. Pontiac. Another ad that's frame-worthy. Here's a cool ad for Benson and Hedges. It's a cigarette ad, but still, nonetheless, it's really neat, full color. Joan Crawford. Another adding machine. Wow, this one was really modern, I guess. Senka Coffee. This is when you had to dip your pen in ink. Of course, they did have ballpoint pens at this time, but it was still quite common to find either ink wells or the pens that had the ink cartridges in them with that calligraphy type of tip here. Here's the cover article about Dragnet discussing this show. And here's layout of the character actors who appear in the Dragnet episodes, and if you're a Dragnet fan, you'll probably recognize a lot of these faces. And it continues. Here's a cruise ship ad. Ad to go to Bermuda. Very, very nice pictures. Another cruise ad. An ad to visit New England. Keith Highlanders men's shoes. Trans-Canada Airlines. And here's an ad for Pall Mall in red and black and white. Let your throat enjoy smooth smoking. And we can laugh at this now, but at the time, the realities of smoking hadn't quite hit home. If you're a Columbia University student, you might find this spread interesting. I really like that twilight picture there, the Manhattan skyline. I believe that's for dictaphone. Is that not Orson Welles? It sure looks like him. Viceroy cigarettes. You know, these shoe ads, when you look at these, consider that one of the most popular artists who did these shoe ads was Andy Warhol. So it's possible that he did this art. That's how he started, actually, was drawing shoes for magazine ads. Now here's Vincent Van Gogh's wheat fields in color. An ad for Allegheny metal. You can make it better with Allegheny metal. I speculate that the price that they charge the sponsors for ads probably depended on how many colors they wanted to buy. So, because you see some of these are just black, white, and red, and then you see the full color ones from the more prominent companies. And here's one with just yellow. But these colors sure held up over the years. It's an ad for Boeing B-52 bombers. This is a copy machine. Copies in 1 to 5 colors. Low-cost duplicator produces them in one operation. You know, I'm really curious as to how well this worked. It looks like you just did little, you know, lemonade stand kind of things or something, but... Jack Daniels. You two out to taste Jack Daniels, rare Tennessee whiskey. It's not that rare. Here's another copier. Liquid process duplicator. It makes me very curious as to how well those worked. Now here's the inside back cover ad for McNaughton's Canadian whiskey, and here's the Star Wars connection. Eddie Fisher for Coca-Cola. And if you want to know how this is connected to Star Wars, that's Carrie Fisher's father, who played Princess Leia. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.